My friends, until tunerum. I'm Dr. David. I just turned 60 this year. And I understand that feeling when you look in the mirror in the morning and see someone familiar yet somehow different. Your hair has turned grayer, your shoulders heavier, and every time you stand up from a chair, it feels just a little slower. I know because I've felt it myself. And because for over 30 years, I've walked alongside thousands of people, over 50 people who ask me the same question. Doctor, can I ever get my strength back? I always smile and say, of course you can. Your body has never abandoned you. It's just waiting for you to awaken the strength within. Muscles, my friends, don't disappear. They just fall asleep for a while. Like seeds buried deep in winter soil, all they need is a bit of light, a bit of care, and they'll sprout again. I've seen people who once could barely stand one day, they got up and walked on their own. Not because of miracles, but because of belief and the right actions. Many people think that walking 10,000 steps a day is the key to good health. Yes, walking is wonderful for the heart and mind, but the truth is, it's not enough to build muscle. When you only walk, your body runs at 20–30% of its full capacity. Your muscles need challenge, a bit of resistance, a bit of effort to adapt and grow stronger. I remember a patient named Robert, 72 years old. He walked faithfully every morning for 10 years. One day he came to me and said, Doctor, I walk every day, but I still feel weak. Climbing stairs is getting harder. I asked him, Robert, have you ever really made your body work? And so we started small wall push-ups, standing up and sitting down from a chair. 3 months later, he returned with a big smile. Doctor, I just took my grandson to the park, and I was the one walking faster. Science calls that process mechanotransduction, mechanical adaptation. Every time you put pressure on your muscles, even with just your own body weight, your muscle cells hear it. They send signals to your DNA, triggering new protein production, and that's how muscle rebuilds stronger and thicker. You don't need dumbbells. You don't need a gym. You just need to start with your own body. But strength doesn't just come from your arms or legs. It starts from within, from the way you think, the way you believe. If you look in the mirror every morning and say, I'm old, I'm weak, your body will listen. But if you say, I still have strength, I'm just waking it up, you'll feel the difference. I always tell my patients, 60 is not the finish line. It's the beginning of a new journey, the journey to reclaim your body, your confidence, and yourself. And today, I want to begin that journey with you. A journey that doesn't need a gym, doesn't need fancy equipment, just an open heart and a bit of belief. Because sometimes the only thing stopping you isn't age, it's the thought that it's too late. And I'm here to tell you, it's never too late. My friends, I often hear people in their 60s and 70s say to me, Doctor, I think my muscles are gone. I'm too weak, not like before. Every time I hear that, I smile and say, no, your muscles haven't disappeared. They're just asleep. Imagine a field in winter, dry soil, leafless trees, everything looks dead. But beneath that cold ground, the seeds are still there, still alive, waiting for spring to rise again. Your body is that field. Even if you're 60 or 80, even if you've been inactive for years, the seeds of strength are still inside your muscles, waiting for you to wake them up. I remember a morning last fall, a patient named Linda, 74, came to see me feeling exhausted. She said, I used to be active, doctor. I walked every morning, gardened, even hiked. But now just lifting a bag makes my hands tremble. I looked at her hands, still strong, just a bit lazy. I said, Linda, your muscles haven't gone anywhere. They're just waiting for you to call them back. We started very gently, no weights, no gym, just standing up and sitting down from a chair every morning and wall push-ups. 3 weeks later, she came back, her face glowing. Doctor, I just carried a 10-pound bag of rice. I haven't done that in years. We both laughed, not just with joy, but with victory. What touched me most wasn't how much she lifted, it was the look in her eyes. There was belief that her body still could. And when belief returns, strength follows. Science has proven an incredible fact: muscle memory. Even after years of inactivity, your muscle cells remember how they used to work. They keep that information stored in their nuclei like an instruction manual waiting to be reactivated. When you start moving again, your muscles don't learn from scratch, they simply wake up. And recovery happens faster than you imagine. I've seen many people improve in just weeks of gentle movement. They walk steadier, stand taller, breathe deeper. No medicine, no magic, just giving their body the chance to move again. The human body is miraculous. It holds memory not only in the mind, but in every fiber, every heartbeat, every breath. It remembers what strength feels like. And if you give it even one reason, just one small reason, it will respond. Many people fear starting because they think they're too old, too weak, or too late. But remember this, Age doesn't take away your ability to build muscle. It only takes away your excuses. And that reason you can create it today. So if you're watching this, I want you to try one small thing. When this video ends, don't just turn it off. Stand up, take a deep breath, and feel your legs, your arms. Feel the life still flowing through them. Then whisper to yourself, my muscles haven't disappeared. They're just asleep, and I'm waking them up. That's the first step, the smallest but most important on the journey to reclaiming your strength and faith in your own body. My friends, if I asked you, what do you do every day to stay healthy? Most of you would say, I walk, doctor. I walk around the block every morning. And I understand walking is natural, easy, and safe. But today I want to tell you a truth few people mention. Walking is great for your heart, but it's not enough to keep your muscles strong. I know that sounds strange, because for decades we've been told that walking is the king of all exercises, but science shows something different. When you walk, you're using about 200 muscles, but only at 20–30% of their full power. In other words, you're waking your body up, but not training it. Think of a car you start every day, but never drive far. The engine runs, but it never gets stronger. Your body is the same. Walking is an excellent warm-up, but if you want to preserve muscle, improve balance, and fight muscle loss, sarcopenia, you need more. I remember one of my patients, James 71, a very disciplined man. He woke up every day at 5 a.m. and walked for exactly 45 minutes. Year after year, season after season. But one day he said to me, Doctor, I still walk every day, but why are stairs getting harder? My legs feel weaker even though I never skip. We ran some tests and the results showed a significant drop in his leg muscle mass. I had to be honest with him, and today, I'll be honest with you too. Walking keeps you moving, but it doesn't help your body grow. As we age, muscles need one crucial thing: resistance. Our bodies operate on the principle of adaptation. If you don't challenge it, it adapts by becoming weaker. But if you give it a reason to grow stronger, a little weight, a bit of resistance, a small challenge, it will respond by building strength at any age. That's why people who only walk often don't see real change. Their bodies have adapted to that routine. It's no longer a challenge. Like reading the same page every day, you stop learning anything new. I remember once a lady named Martha, 76, came to see me walking slowly with a cane. She said, I walk around my house every morning, doctor, but I'm still weak sometimes. I even lose balance. I asked, when you walk, do you ever try going a bit faster or standing up and sitting down several times a day? She laughed and said, no, I'm afraid of falling. And I understood that fear is real. But the irony is, because we fear falling, we move less. And that's exactly what makes us weaker and more likely to fall. That cycle only breaks when you dare to give your body small, safe challenges, just enough to wake up the strength within. I guided Martha through simple exercises, wall push-ups, standing and sitting from a chair. Easy, safe, but powerfully effective. 2 months later, she returned, no cane needed. She smiled and said, Doctor, I can walk longer now and I feel years younger. And that's what I want you to understand today. Walking is great, but it's just the first step of recovery. If you want true strength, take one more step into the space where your body is gently, safely challenged. Because in the end, strength doesn't come from how much you move, but from how you choose to move. Let your steps be more than habit. Let them remind you, this body still can. It's just waiting for you to ask for a little more. My friends, if you've ever believed that being strong requires going to the gym, lifting weights, or using fancy machines, today I want you to forget that. Because your body itself is the best gym you will ever have. And with nothing more than a wall, you can awaken the strength that's been sleeping inside you. This is the first exercise I want you to practice, the wall push-up. It sounds simple, but it's one of the most powerful exercises for anyone over 50, especially if you're starting your journey to rebuild your muscles. Let me tell you about Peter, a 69-year-old former construction engineer. He came to me with tired shoulders, weak arms, and constant fatigue after the simplest tasks. Doctor, he said, I used to be strong. I used to lift cement bags that weighed over 100 pounds. Now I can barely hold a water jug without shaking. I looked at him and said, Peter, you haven't grown weak. You just haven't reminded your body how strong it used to be. Then I introduced him to the first exercise, the wall push-up. Stand straight facing the wall about an arm's length away. Place your palms flat on the wall at shoulder height, fingers pointing upward. Keep your back straight, core slightly engaged, and eyes forward. Now take a deep breath. Slowly bend your elbows, bringing your chest toward the wall. Don't rush. Let your body weight press gently into your arms. Feel your shoulders, chest, and arms working together. When your nose almost touches the wall, exhale and push yourself back to the starting position. That's one rep, simple but powerful. Repeat 8 to 10 times, rest for 1 minute, and do 2 more sets. If it feels too easy, just step a little farther from the wall. You'll be surprised at how much stronger it feels. When you walk, your muscles work at about 20–30% of their capacity. But with wall push-ups, studies show your body activates up to 60–70% of its true strength. That's why this exercise can actually reverse muscle loss in older adults. In a study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity, 150 adults aged 65 to 85 did wall push-ups 3 times a week for 12 weeks. And the results were incredible. They increased upper body strength by 31% and gained an average of 2 pounds of lean muscle. In other words, after just 3 months, they became stronger from the inside out. I still remember the day Peter came back after 10 weeks of consistent practice. He walked in with a big smile and said, "Doctor, I just fixed the leaky faucet in my house without calling my son. I feel alive again." That's what I love most about this exercise. It doesn't just make you stronger, it helps you feel confident again in your own body. Because strength isn't just about lifting heavy things, it's about living actively, doing the things you thought you couldn't do anymore. Every time you push off that wall, your muscle cells sense what's called mechanical tension. That's the signal they send to your DNA telling it to make new proteins. This process is called mechanotransduction, a fancy term that simply means when you use your muscles, your body understands you still need them and starts rebuilding them. The miracle is this process doesn't slow down at 60, 70, or even 80. Your muscle cells still respond, still recover, still grow as long as you give them a reason to. So my friends, if you've ever thought you're too old to work out, remember Peter, remember Linda, and the hundreds of people I've seen come alive again through this simple movement. You don't need to run marathons, lift heavy weights, or be perfect. You just need to start with the wall right in your own home. Because strength doesn't live in a gym. It lives right where you stand. And sometimes just pushing gently against the wall means you're pushing back against time itself. My friends, if wall push-ups strengthen and awaken your upper body, then the second exercise I want to share with you is the true heart of independence. The movement that keeps your legs strong, your balance steady, and your confidence alive. Chair squats. Many people believe good balance is enough, but I want you to think about this. How many times a day do you sit down and stand up? The dining chair, the couch, the bed, the toilet. These are movements you repeat hundreds of times every week. If you can master that one motion, you can master life after 60. I remember one of my patients, Helen, 78 years old. She came to see me walking slowly with fear in her eyes. "Doctor, I'm so afraid of falling. I avoid stairs. I even stopped going out to my garden." I asked her, "Helen, have you ever tried standing up and sitting down slowly with control just a few minutes a day?" She laughed. "I do that every day, doctor, but only because I have to not to exercise." And I told her that's the most valuable exercise there is. If we turn daily movements into opportunities for training, our bodies will thank us forever. Take a sturdy chair, not too low and without wheels. Place it behind you. Stand tall, feet shoulder width apart, toes slightly pointed out. Bring your hands in front of your chest for balance. Take a deep breath, then slowly push your hips back as if you're about to sit. When your hips lightly touch the chair, just touch, don't sit, exhale, and stand back up. Keep your back straight and eyes forward. At first, you can do 8–10 reps. Rest for a minute between sets. Do 3 sets a day. If you get tired, it's okay to sit fully before standing up again. The key isn't speed, it's consistency and awareness that every movement helps you grow younger. When you do chair squats, you activate your quads, glutes, calves, and lower back. The muscles that keep you standing tall, climbing stairs easily, and most importantly, preventing falls. One of the leading causes of hospitalization for older adults. In a study published in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health, over 200 adults aged 70 to 92 practiced this exercise 4 times a week for 16 weeks, and they gained 3.7 pounds of leg muscle, improved standing ability by 40%, and cut their risk of falling by nearly half. Many started their first week with a support frame, but by week 10, they were walking independently. I'll never forget Henry, 79 years old, who came to me and said, "Doctor, I just want to stand up from my chair without needing help. I don't need to be an athlete, I just want to live freely." We started with chair squats, just 5 reps per session. The first week, his knees trembled, and he had to use his hands for support. But by week 8, he stood up smoothly, no hands, just a radiant smile. And he said something I'll never forget. "Doctor, I feel free again." My friends, your legs aren't just for walking. They are symbols of independence. Every time you can rise without help, you're telling life itself, "I'm still living on my own terms." So spend a few minutes each day doing chair squats. It doesn't need to be perfect, just consistent. Every time you sit and rise, you're not only training your body, you're teaching your spirit how to rise again after the fatigue of age. And when you combine chair squats with wall push-ups, you won't just feel stronger, you'll feel reborn. Two small exercises that can completely change how you walk through life at 60, 70, or even 80. Start today with the chair in your home and the belief that it's your minority. Strength isn't in your age, it's in every step you dare to take. My friends, after many years working with people over 50, I've realized something unfortunate. So many people exercise diligently, but they do it the wrong way. And the worst part is those mistakes not only keep them from getting stronger, they can seriously harm the body. I've seen countless people forced to stop training for months, even hospitalized, because of exercises that seem harmless. So today I want to speak honestly as a friend, as someone who has seen too many painful lessons. There are 3 exercises you should completely avoid after 50. They may sound familiar, but it's exactly those familiar moves that quietly weaken your body over time. 1. Sit-ups and crunches, the spine killers. I know many people do these because they believe it burns belly fat or builds a flat stomach. But the truth is these are some of the worst exercises for your lower back as you age. Every time you curl forward, you compress the lumbar vertebrae with all your body weight. When you're young, your discs are flexible. After 50, they become thinner and more fragile. Do it wrong a few times, your body tolerates it. Do it hundreds of times every day and damage builds silently. I once treated a woman named Michaela, 73 years old. She did 40 sit-ups every morning because she read online that it was the secret to staying young. After 8 months, she came to me with sharp back pain radiating down her left leg. Diagnosis: herniated disc. She had to stop exercising for 3 months and spent 6 more months in physical therapy just to bend without pain. I told her, and I want to tell you now, a flat stomach isn't worth a broken spine. There are much safer ways to strengthen your core, like gentle wall planks or deep belly breathing, and I'll share those in future videos. 2. Behind the neck shoulder press, the enemy of the shoulder joint. This exercise was popular in gyms during the 1970s, but it has caused thousands of people to stop training because of chronic shoulder pain. When you push a bar or weight from behind your head, your shoulders are forced into unnatural external rotation beyond the safe range of motion. When you're young, your tendons are elastic, but after 50, the rotator cuff weakens with age. One wrong push, one small pop, and you could tear a tendon. I remember Robert, 68, a loyal gym goer. His trainer told him, "This is the best move to build big, strong shoulders." 6 months later, he couldn't raise his arm to comb his hair. Diagnosis: torn rotator cuff. It took him nearly a year of therapy to lift his arm again. I always tell my patients, don't train like you're 30 when you're 60. Your body doesn't need to be powerful in the same way it needs to be protected. 3. Deep knee extensions, the knee nightmare. You know this one, you sit on a machine hook, your feet under a pad, and extend your legs forward. It looks easy, even safe. But in reality, that shearing force on the knee joint can damage cartilage and ligaments over time. That machine was originally designed for rehab, not for everyday muscle building. I've seen many retirees buy one for home workouts and end up limping for 6 weeks. If you want strong legs, do chair squats instead. They're safe, natural, and aligned with how your body was meant to move. My friends are wondering, after 50, your body is like a classic car. Still beautiful, still powerful, but it must be driven with intelligence and not force. Remember, not every popular exercise is good for you. The pain is not a sign of progress. And most importantly, it's never too late to learn to train the right way. Because our goal is not to work out until exhaustion, but to live strong, live free, and live without pain. My friends, after my previous videos, many of you wrote to me asking, "Doctor, I exercise every day, but why don't I feel stronger?" And I always smile and reply, because muscle isn't built while you're training. It's built while you rest and eat. It sounds strange, doesn't it? But it's true, something I want you to remember. Only 20% of your strength comes from exercise. The other 80% comes from nutrition, rest, and sleep. I remember one of my patients, Janet, 67 years old, an active woman. She practiced yoga, walked daily, and worked in her garden. Yet she always felt tired and saw little change even after 6 months of effort. When I asked about her diet, she smiled. "I eat light, doctor. I'm afraid of gaining weight. Morning coffee salad for lunch, a bit of soup for dinner." And I said to her, "Janet, you don't need to eat less. You need to eat right. Muscle, like a house, needs building materials. If you train without giving your body enough protein, vitamins, and minerals, it has nothing to rebuild with. Training without nutrition is like building a house without bricks. The effort is there, but the results will never come. Eat to build muscle, not just to survive. After 50, your body's ability to synthesize protein declines. That means you need more protein than younger people, not less. I often recommend these healthy sources of protein to my patients. Eggs, salmon, lean chicken, lentils, soybeans, Greek yogurt, bone broth. If possible, include a bit of protein in every meal rather than loading it all at dinner. And don't forget magnesium, vitamin D, and calcium, the trinity of longevity. They help your body absorb protein and keep your bones strong. A bowl of bone broth, a piece of grilled salmon, or a glass of warm milk before bed. Sometimes that's the rejuvenation medicine you didn't know you needed. Sleep the time your body heals itself. I want you to remember this. Muscles don't grow while you're exercising. They grow while you're sleeping. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, your silent repairman. It heals micro tears in muscle, restores energy, and even sharpens memory. If you only sleep 4 to 5 hours a night, your body never gets the chance to do that. The result, no recovery, weak immunity, low energy, and irritability. I once asked a 75-year-old patient named George, "What do you think made you weaker the fastest?" He said, "Not age, doctor, but all the nights I couldn't sleep." And I nodded. He was right. Age slows you down, but lack of sleep wears you out. My friends, exercise is wonderful, but if you don't sleep enough or eat enough, your body will always stay hungry for energy, nutrients, and recovery. So tonight I want you to do something simple. Turn off your screen 30 minutes earlier. Make yourself a warm cup of milk or a small bowl of bone broth. Play soft music. And let your body rest as a gift you give yourself after a long day. Your body doesn't need perfection. It just needs your attention, care, and permission to heal. Train enough, eat enough, sleep enough, because these are the 3 pillars of true strength, muscle, nutrition, and rest. My friends, after more than 30 years of practicing medicine, I've realized something simple yet profound. Your mind can change the biology of your body. Many people believe health only comes from food and exercise. But in truth, the way you think and feel each day can determine how your cells live or die. I've met hundreds of patients of the same age, same diagnosis, same treatment, yet their results were completely different. And the difference came down to one thing: belief. I'll never forget George, 73 years old. He had chronic back pain for years. Even with good therapy and proper medication, his condition barely improved. Every visit, he would shake his head and say, "Doctor, I'm old. I don't think I'll ever get better." I smiled and said, "George, if you tell your body it can't, it will believe you." He went silent. A week later, he came back, his eyes brighter. He said, "Doctor, I tried what you told me. Every morning I look in the mirror and say I'm getting stronger. It felt silly at first, but strangely, I really do feel better." And you know what? 2 months later, his back pain was nearly gone. When I examined him, his muscles had improved significantly. Not just because of the medicine or therapy, but because his mindset had changed. Science calls this psychoneuroimmunology, the connection between your thoughts, emotions, and your body's healing systems. When you think positively, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, chemicals that reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and help tissue repair. But when you're stressed, anxious, or hopeless, your body produces cortisol, a hormone that weakens muscles, bones, and sleep. In other words, your body is a reflection of your mind. How you think is how you live. I want you to imagine this. Each morning you wake up, open the window, take a deep breath, and say, "Today I can still do something good for my body." Just one small sentence, but repeat it every day. And your body will begin to believe it and respond. I've seen this miracle in so many people. An 82-year-old woman once told me she lost faith after a stroke. But every morning she said, "I will walk today even one step." 3 months later, she walked 60 feet without a cane. When I asked her how she did it, she smiled and said, "Doctor, I wasn't training to walk, I was training to believe I'm still alive." My friends, age may slow your steps and silver your hair, but never let it age your heart or your faith. Remember, every time you smile, speak kindly, or stand up to move even for 5 minutes. You are healing yourself. The body and mind are not separate. When your mind is calm, your body becomes strong. When you are grateful for waking up, breathing, and moving, you are already healthier than 90% of the world. So begin again right now. You don't need to be perfect fast or prove anything to anyone. You just need to believe. Each day I can become a little stronger. Because true health isn't only in your muscles. It's in how you treat yourself. My friend, 21. We've walked a long journey together, from understanding the body and awakening your muscles, to caring for it through nutrition, sleep, and positive spirit. If you're still here watching this moment, I want you to know you've already begun your journey of renewal. Because what matters most isn't how many reps you've done, but that you chose to stay, listen, and believe that change is still possible. After 30 years in medicine, the greatest lessons I've learned weren't from textbooks. They came from people's eyes. Those who once felt hopeless, then returned with brighter faces and stronger steps saying, "Doctor, I did it." I've seen that miracle in Peter, who started with a wall, in Helen, who just wanted to stand without help, in George, who healed himself by changing his beliefs. And I want to see that same miracle in you. Being 50, 60, or 70 isn't the end of your health journey. It's a new chapter. A chapter where you no longer chase youth, but learn to nurture yourself, slow down, and appreciate every small movement. Because true strength isn't how much weight you lift, but how gently you lift yourself again and again. Picture this, or one for Surin Miservamento. Tomorrow morning, don't rush out of bed, don't grab your phone. Take a deep breath, place your hands on the wall, and start with 5 wall push-ups. Then move to your chair, and do 5 slow, steady chair squats. It'll take only a few minutes, but in that moment, you're teaching your body to say, "I'm still here. I'm still alive, and I'm coming back." When I was young, I thought strength was about big muscles and endurance. But now at 60, I know strength is the ability to not give up even one more time. You don't need to change your life in a day. Just start today with one small movement, one nutritious meal, one full night of rest, and one genuine smile. Because those small things repeated every day become something powerful. My friends, I won't promise that this journey will be easy, but I promise it will be worth it. A healthy body, a bright spirit, a grateful heart. Those are gifts you can give yourself at any age. And when this video ends, I don't want you to just understand my words. I want you to act. Stand up, move a little, eat something nourishing, smile at yourself, and say softly but with conviction, "I still can. My body is still strong. I'm starting again." Because in the end, age only makes you old if you stop learning, stop loving, and stop believing you can grow. But as long as you still believe, still move, still show kindness to yourself, then age means nothing. Thank you for walking this journey with me. If this video touched your heart, leave a comment and tell me, "Today I begin again." And I promise I'll walk with you in every step, every breath, every exercise, on this path back to strength, freedom, and faith. My friends, if you're still here, I want you to know something. I truly appreciate you, not just for watching, but for choosing to care about yourself. You may not realize it, but right now, you've crossed the line between knowing and doing. And that is where real transformation begins. I know not every day will be perfect. There will be days when you feel tired, discouraged, or unmotivated. But please remember this. No one needs you to be perfect. Just don't give up. If today you only did 3 wall push-ups, smile and tell yourself, "I tried." Because true strength isn't in numbers, it's in the will to keep going. If this video inspired you, hit like so I know you're with me, and subscribe if you haven't, so you won't miss next week's video. The one simple food 90% of older adults are missing that can transform your muscle health in just weeks. Trust me, that's one you won't want to miss. Before you go, I have a small invitation. Leave a comment below, just one line. "I begin again." That will be your promise to yourself, your body, and your life. I'm Dr. David, and I believe there is no such thing as old age, only bodies not yet cared for, and hearts that haven't been awakened to believe again. Thank you for being here today. Love yourself, move gently, eat well, and smile through each day. Because you are alive, you are strong, and your journey has only just begun. See you in the next video. May your day be filled with energy, peace, and hope.